So for our last presentation, we have the Vogel, Luda Soffer, Yariv Kursh. They will be presenting some of the latest changes for Ex Libris Support and how these will enable more focused attention on the library software sector. Questions from the community have been sought in advance of this session. So over to you.
Oh, Yariv just disappeared. Zvi, are you there? Can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hi. Yariv was here, but he's just disappeared.
Oh,
Hold
I
on,
think we
he's
just
back
got the
now.
link, so.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, he's coming back now.
Okay.
Well, hi everyone, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Sorry for the
There you go.
technical issues.
Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. I've already been kicked off the Zoom today, so everybody's having issues.
All right.
Zoom is not friendly this morning.
All right, so should we start?
Yes, we should.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting us. We really appreciate it. My name is Zvi Vogel. I'm the Director of Customer Support in charge of the Australian New Zealand region. And I'm excited to have with me Yariv, the General Manager for Clarivate's Library Software Group, and Luda Soffer, our VP of Customer Care. We have a packed hour, I believe, so I'll hand the presentation over to Yariv for greetings and for some updates, and then Luda and I will take it over from there for a bit more support updates. So thank you, everyone, and Yariv.
Thank you. So you're running the slides?
I will. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't notice I wasn't running. Can I have presentation rights, please?
You should have a green share button.
I am looking for it. No, I just see a screen. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry about this. Found it. Thank you. Okay. Okay, can you see the slides?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so let's start. Let's move to the next one. I think that we have made the introduction.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for giving us the time to present to you and share with you what's changed in the last couple of years within the Clarivate Library Software Group, and I'm talking about Library Software Group and not specifically Ex Libris. As you all know, since August 2022, I received the assignment and the privileges to actually combine two great companies, Innovative and Ex Libris, into a single library software group. And this group is part of Clarivate, which Clarivate is a global company, operate in 42 countries, about 12,000 people around the globe. Only 13% came from legacy Clarivate. All the rest joined us through acquisitions. The company very much care about everything that you see in the right. So almost on a weekly basis, we have activities within the companies around sustainability, social and DEI. And of course, our major concern is about governance, security, data privacy, everything that has to do with keeping data and making sure that privacy has been kept across everything that we do and every data point that we serve. Clarivate actually combined from three main segments, as you can see on the left. The largest segment, or as you can call it, division, is academia and government, which Ex Libris and Innovative are part of. Another one, we have a group that actually deal with life and science research. We help healthcare organizations and providers to explore much deeper, in a deeper way, different drugs and different support for sick people around the globe, help them to get back to their life and help them to get cured to their issues. The last division is intellectual property, or IP as we call it, where we actually help companies that create IP, intellectual property, to manage and support their overall rights around the globe. And again, in every country and every state, the way you manage your IP is different. Clarivate is a powerhouse of $2.6 billion. We are a global and also public company traded in the New York Stock Exchange. And this is important for you because it allows us to be very transparent to every shareholder. It allows us to be transparent to the public. It allows you to actually to see what we do with this money. How do we invest our money? How we actually invest the money that you pay us, in what way? And you'll find out that most of the money that we're getting from customers is going back to the business in order to perform a deeper research and building new product and building new solution that actually serve you and serve students and researchers around the globe. Next slide. Zvi?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. So the library software group, again, those two companies that came together in August 2022, serve about 99% of the world's largest libraries. I'm talking about libraries that include, of course, academic libraries, universities, colleges, state colleges, etc. National libraries, we have today about 81, 82 national libraries, from small libraries in the US, which is what we call state libraries, very small one, to state libraries which are very, very large in Singapore, in Hong Kong, and others. And we actually serve about 26,000 libraries, if I take all of them together, in 145 countries around the globe. We serve about 130 million students in any given point of time. Student people is actually come to the library, make a research, read a book, do their essays, and actually looking for advanced solution to advance their teaching and learning, to advance their student success, to advance their student outcome. The last, I call it, when we came together as a division, as a segment under ANG, we put together for ourselves a mission to bring everything that we have within what we used to call ProQuest, when we came together to Clarivate, and build a platform that will serve all our customers from a single source of technology and provide content and software in a very open way. So we build the academic knowledge core, as you can see it on the left, that actually focus on three things. One is research excellence. The second one is to increase library impact, and the main focus around student outcome and student success. And those four, I call it flowers that you see in the middle, all of them bring together a lot of assets in technology, in content, in research that allow us to drive, I call it innovation in those three areas. Next slide. We are very proud of our community, or our communities, actually. We are serving and we are part of three prestige communities. I think the largest within this academia, within this academic library world. IGLU, which is the international global user group of Ex Libris, ILUNA, which is the North American user group of Ex Libris, and Innovative, IUG, which is, again, a group that can bring together people from around the globe for the innovative users. And look at the numbers. You can look at the numbers on the slide. I think the number speaks for themselves. We're talking about 8,000 people around the globe, 8,000 members in those three communities that actually work with us almost day in, day out to make sure that the requirements of those community, of those 8,000 people, will come together as a solution, as a software, as a feature, as something that will serve the librarians, that will serve the students, that will serve the researchers in everything that they do. So it's a very large community that actually work with us in what we call in working groups, from developing a specific features to actually work with us, and Luda will talk about it later on, to improve the way we help you, we work with you, and serve you from the way you open cases to the way we close those cases and actually provide support to improve documentation, to improve knowledge. Everything that we do is driven by those relationships, and those relationships are very, very important for us, and we care about them a lot. Next slide. So the way we operate, or the way, our vision is actually built on those 6 pillars. We build a platform of the future that is powered by AI. Now, I presented something similar at Iluna I think that was last month or 2 months ago, month and a half ago, and someone told me, look, we don't care about AI. However, I met a lot of customers. I met a lot of customers around the globe, and I met a head of a library consortia yesterday, and she told me, look, I know that there is some resistance and there is some concern about AI, but it's very clear to everyone that AI is the future. And if we will not, we as a library group, as a library community, as a library society, and talking on her behalf, won't be able to adopt and understand how to use and leverage AI in a better way, in some point of time, we lose to the AI. And we had a debate for quite, for a few minutes. We had a debate if a librarian should learn AI, or a librarian should actually stick to the old way of doing things. And she actually told me very, very clear, look, if we, the librarians, want to learn it, the students will go out and search for different ways to get a knowledge, because students today, many of the young kids that coming out of high school, looking at my kids, I have kids myself, son myself, that actually is a student, engineering student. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for new ways to get to content. They're looking for new ways to get to knowledge. And for them, the obvious way is to go to ChatGPT, OpenAI, and there are 3 or 4 other platforms that serve them. So that's the platform that we build, and we'll talk about it later on in a greater details. And for those of you that will join me at Igloo in September in Copenhagen, you will hear more and more about it from me and from others. But this platform, again, is focused on innovation, making sure the ROI will make sense. Those tools are very expensive, both for us and for other users. Those AI companies charge for those services. So we need to make sure that we give you the right solution at the right price so the ROI will make sense. As I said before, data security is in the essence of everything that we do, especially in the days of AI. We bring expertise. We bring a unique expertise into this domain of libraries. And I'm talking about libraries in general. Of course, academic is a very large part of everything that we do, but national libraries, public libraries, special libraries, we bring expertise of 40 years in this specific domain. There is no one else in the industry that have the level of knowledge and expertise and technology at that level. Of course, customer care and customer support is something that we care about so much. And Luda just rejoined us recently to take care and lead the customer care, because we identified there is a gap between the way we want to operate, the way we want to work, to the actual service that we deliver. And we're going to close this gap very, very quick, and Luda will talk about it in a second. And of course, in full collaboration with you. We're not doing that alone. We're not doing that in a vacuum. We're working with the community in a very tight way to get your inputs about the way you want us to use AI, the way you want us to leverage AI technology, and of course, make content and knowledge access to your students, to your librarians, to your researchers. Next. I'm very happy to say, and I'm very proud to say, that the overall, I call it the ALMA, or the Ex Libris community, is growing, but it's growing very, very fast in your region, what we call the ANZ region, the Australia, New Zealand region. You can see the numbers on the screen. You can see the names on the screen. I'm sure that a lot of you recognize your logos and your names. And this is talking about just the last 12 months, or a bit longer than that, 12 to 18 months. If you look at those logos, look at those names, they're all prestige. And those are the customers that actually use our solution day in and day out. Those customers actually have, as you can see on screen, about 30% of them have more than one, or at least 4 solutions that include Alma and Primo and Leganto and others. So we not only serve librarians, we not only serve those students that actually come and want to find an article or they want to find a book, we also help them to save money. We also help them to improve their student outcome, improve their success rate, and make sure that they will continue to the next cycle of learning. We strongly believe, and I just met about 3 months ago, I met the head of education, Ministry of Education in Singapore, and we kind of had a discussion about how do we see long life learners come together in the way we operate, in the way our solution works. And we had kind of an interesting discussion about how you take a kid from kindergarten and work with him through school, through high school, through college, through university, and going back to the public library life. I think that Clarivate Library Software Group is the right partner when you believe or when you think about this cycle, because really today we have this touch point, those integration and those connections to every part of this cycle, and we bring them together to help educators, to help our customers to be able to track and develop this long life learner cycle. I think this is my last slide, right, Zvi? This is the last one on my side. Yes. So I
no, I think there's another one. Sorry,
there's another
this
one. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Another two actually. Sorry. Yeah.
Wow, you actually load me this morning a lot. So those two slides are actually represent, for those of you who actually joined us last Igloo or watch the webinars from Igloo, the vision that we set, me and the other leadership people in the Library Software Group, we set in the beginning of 2023, is built on 5 pillars. The main one is optimize. How we optimize everything that we do, from product perspective to operational perspective, to the customer care, professional services, and content. We believe that it must be optimized in order to serve you better, in order to give you easier access to the content and the system, and of course the services that you need from us. So we're going to talk about it during this presentation. Zvi and Luda will talk about at least some of it. They will talk about customer care in depth. You'll hear more from us around the other two, around professional services and content operation. And again, for those of you who will join Igloo, and I very much hope to see as many of you as we can at Igloo to learn more about those things. Next. So in order to, according to optimize those 3 segments or those 3 pillars, which we saw on the previous slide, we have what I call the A-team. We build the A-team that bring together Luda, Soffer, which joined us this morning as the VP of Customer Care, that actually look on everything that happened on, I call it after the go live, and need to make sure that the system will work for your satisfaction. The system will bring the value that you need, and of course, you will be, I won't say enjoying it, but at least have the easy way of working with it and make sure they get the best value out of it. Melissa Hilbert, our Vice President of Professional Services, that actually make sure that her and her team will bring those systems to life, everything that you're getting from us, either it's Alma or Leganto or everything in between, and Rapido, those resource sharing solution. And Osnat Wilenchik, that actually in charge of content operation, she's the Vice President of content operation, that her and her team actually are making sure that the access to content, either on the Alma CZ or CDI, will bring you the benefits and will be easy as you want it to be. And of course, without having the right market records, without having the right content within those CDI and CZ, Alma won't be able to give you the value that you need. So Osnat and her team in charge of that. Next.
Okay, thank you, Yariv. I think this is the end. We'll hand it over to Luda from here. Thank you for joining
everyone.
us.
I give you the opportunity. And I'm still here if there is any question or something.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Very happy to be here. Thank you for inviting us. I'm Luda Soffer, and I rejoined Library Software Group in May to lead customer care organization. Those of you who met me know that majority of my career has been in customer experience and specifically in library software. For many years, I was leading teams in charge for various customer product issues in library software. So I'm deeply familiar with your day-to-day workflows and challenges. I had the opportunity of transitioning hundreds of institutions and libraries to Alma and Primo. Worked closely with many of you during migration to Alma, go live, and supporting day-to-day work. Over these years, I was very lucky to connect with many of you over various opportunities and truly learned the unique power of this community and what we can do together. Yariv spoke about this earlier, how close we work with communities, with Igloo and Iluna and Australia, New Zealand community. So we are truly committed to work together with you, and we believe that our commitment and your engagement will help us to overcome challenges and together achieve much better outcomes. So I'm very happy to be back and looking forward to work with all of you together again. Next slide. So these are key initiatives we are focusing on in customer care organization in order to improve your experience. Over the next slides, Zvi and I will expand on some of the initiatives, and the others we will address as we talk in our Q&A session. Talia Aviv, who is leading our documentation team, is also joining us for this session, and she will be addressing part of the topics as part of the Q&A. You can go to the next slide. So one of the initiatives I want to talk about is Iluna Igloo Support Advisory Board. Again, following on our commitment to work very closely with the community, get feedback from the community, and discuss with you various aspects that will allow us to support you better, we kicked off this support advisory group. It will focus both on technical and content support aspects. We realize that it's very important to have a holistic approach to all aspects of support and experience that we are providing. So the group first met in February to discuss some initial ways of connecting, and we met again at Iluna in May to further define our channels, how we want to communicate, how we want to update community, and we define it currently and started to work. We're meeting on a monthly cadence. Alex Forrest and Karen Glover are leading the group and coordinating with the rest of the team. As you see, we have quite solid participation of members. We have 3 Igloo consortia, 3 Luna, and 3 participants of individual institutions. Overall, we have 12 members. So I believe this group very diverse and well representing needs of different customers. Now, Support Advisory Group will bring to the monthly discussions various support and experience related topics, and will work, of course, in close partnership with steering committees, working groups, and wider community. To give you some example of topics that we discussed in our meeting that we had at the beginning of June and planning to continue in the meeting in July, chat usage, how useful you and your staff find in chat that we have as a communication channel in different products. Known issues platforms, we will touch base on this later on, but we're really looking forward to work with Support Advisory Board on how we best build this platform to serve your needs. Automated case closure, this is something that discussions started earlier on, and we continue with the group input to work on the optimal time for this. And might be life cycle of case, which was also brought by community as something that would want to have more visibility on. And these are just examples on the topics we started to discuss. And of course, there will be many more where support advisory group will bring to discussion. And we from our side will also be initiating those topics where we need input of community to make sure we get it right and we do what serves you in the best way. So Snap Vilenchuk, Yariv introduced here earlier, VP Content Operations, and I are leading engagements from Ex Libris side. All support directors will be participating in these discussions, and we're really looking forward to work closely with the group to achieve best outcomes that we can have in terms of supporting us. Zvi, I think we can go to next slide.
Thank you, Luda. I think I'll take this one. I would like to update, and I'm happy to update, that we've launched a new regional ANZREG account. I've been working in the last couple of weeks with, last few weeks actually, with Ella to launch this account. The account is dedicated for handling issues that are concerning to the whole region, or at least for a large subgroup in the region. And this group is the purpose of this group is to enable us to get a better attention and better prioritization to these cases, and to ensure faster and more attention in handling it, because we understand the wide impact that this has on the community. It also allows for a better transparency. That means that members of this group can log into the account and review the cases that are on this account, and it will also enable us to have like a single track for these broad issues. This account is managed by the ANZREG committee, and they will share and they'll manage the account on the cases. So, but we're still here. If there's any issues about this, we'll be happy to assist and continue supporting you through this account, obviously through your individual accounts too. Moving to the next slide. Also happy to provide some updates on the known issues platform that we're planning. So we are committed to have this launched by the end of the year. Okay, this is going to be a platform that will enable each of you to review and research, find common issues that might be affecting you as well. You'll be able to review those issues, easily subscribe to those issues, and you'll be able to track them through this platform. The idea of this platform is a method. It's not just a plain text that's reflecting. It's going to be a living platform where we will keep these tracks up to date. And by creating this, we're going to work, as Luda mentioned, about the advisory group. This is one of the places where we would appreciate and we'll work together to create the most optimal solution that will serve best both the community and Ex Libris, by providing you a central location to track these issues, and for us, somewhere that you can work through this platform, and and instead of opening individual cases, you'll have a single location for the known issues. Another initiative that we are working on, this has also came up in the questions, and I'll address it later. We're having, the world is leading by AI right now, and we also want to take advantage of it. We have an internal program that we're now in the testing phase of it in the support group. We call it the AI Assistant. It's a tool that empowers our analysts to provide better, faster, and more accurate responsibilities by utilizing a lot of our internal resources and available resources. You should expect to see this providing, and I already think we see this in a lot of statistics, that you're getting better responses, and you'll surely feel it. Faster responses, better quality over time. Right now, we're doing a staged rollout, a very careful rollout. We want to build our own trust with the system, and we're learning how to utilize it. But it's happening right now. And this is as an assistant tool. I have to kind of make it clear that behind the accountability is the human factor. The analysts are the ones that are supporting you, and they're responsible for providing the answer. This is just a tool that is assisting them to receive the best quality information that they can provide for you. Another initiative that we're running is the quality management that we've launched. This is another internal program that we are proactively checking, and constantly we're doing this methodically with working with a method called IQS, and we're proactively reviewing and on an ongoing base the quality and a systemic way, the quality of the case control, the case comments, and the case handling by our analysts. We work on the quality. There's a review of the process, and it's an ongoing improvement. And we're standardizing the answers and the way that we measure and control the quality, so we can keep improving over time and continue delivering the service that you're accustomed to, but continue improving it. It's an important keynote on this one. That's it for the updates on our end. We did get we've got about 5 questions from the ANZREG survey that we'll be happy to answer right now. I'll start with the first question. There was a question if we plan to support more configuration normalization rules for external resources, especially for users with limited XML XPath knowledge, given the community interest and resource available on platforms like GitHub. And how do we get our GitHub repo, I guess the ANZREG GitHub repo, recognized by Ex Libris? We're happy to update that future normalizations for metadata will include the use of XSL, which will allow you to normalize the data as you're loading it or into the system, even before or after the current normalization rules that you run. Currently, we have our own blog post at the developers network with many examples from Ex Libris users, and this one is a great one. We would like, if it will be possible, if whoever suggested it, and we'll be happy to help, that we take this with the Primo working group and get these repositories into the system as well. I hope this answers the question. I'll move on to the next question. What is Ex Libris doing to improve the fluctuating support team's response time? We realize that sometimes the experience can be a bit frustrating. I think in the actual question, I had it in a short version, but it explained that sometimes weeks can pass before answers come in from tier 1 and then moving through tier 2 and to development. And we understand this feeling. I want to give a little bit of a statistical background so you know what's happening right now. For the past 12 months, 90% of the region's cases are closed within 50 days. This includes wait times like, waiting for the answer, which can be, when we send an answer to the customer, it can be up to 2 weeks. Also, there's pending testing options. I'm talking about cases without development, of course. The question was specifically about support. 90% of the region's cases closed within 50 days. This is an improvement for the entire of 2023. If we compare apples to apples, 12 months to 12 months, we can definitely see an improvement. I hope you're feeling it. we completely understand that 10%, the ones that take more than 50 days, are very noticeable. And we are working to improve on those, always also on the 50 days, but also on those 10%. And as I mentioned, the initiatives here are the quality management program and the AI assistant tools. We also had, we had a day. We're having tools created by development that are specifically aimed to assist, support, provide better solutions. There was recently a hackathon day where you had 250 developers working specifically creating tools and collaborating with support. And there were very interesting tools here that I'm sure you will also eventually feel the benefit from those, from that day and from the execution of those tools. We had another questions about some rumors that you've heard about the AI tools and support. So as I mentioned before, that is true. The question was, are we going to use it for chat cases and documentation? So right now, then the tool is focused on the ability to help us perform in a better and most optimized way. As I mentioned, we are the ones responsible to deliver reliable answers. It does not replace a human accountability. As for chat and places where it is a self-service, where the tool will be a self-service, we're carefully evaluating the outcome of this testing phase. We call it proof of concept. And based on what we can see, we will decide on our next steps. And we will keep you updated. Again, this will be together with the advisory group to make sure that we're doing it in the best way possible to serve you as a community. For the documentation improvement, we've invited Tali Aviv from the documentation group, and Tali will be happy to take the question and answer. So, Tali.
Hi, everyone. Happy to be joining you today. The question was, what is Ex Libris doing to improve system documentation, to reduce support cases related to it, and improve the self-service on customer side? So as Zvi presented, we have the AI assistant tool, which does come to provide relatively quick answers on those basic cases. On the documentation side, we have a new initiative driven by Iglu and Iluna chairs for a documentation advisory group. This is something very new, and this is intended to be a formal channel to address various questions related to documentation, initiatives, drive priorities that are important to you. There will be some sort of call for participation, and that will be driven over the next few weeks, months. In addition to that, we have ongoing efforts to improve the documentation. These are prioritized based on customer inputs. We're currently focusing on analytics and consortia-related documentation. I can also update you that we're looking to replace the documentation platform that we currently have, the knowledge management platform. And one of the key improvements is that we would like to provide other ways to engage with content. So that vision, we've been speaking a lot about AI. And so what we see is having an AI-based search tool that would engage with the content rather than searching, where you can ask a question and the tool would aggregate the answer based on various sources across the knowledge platform. Next slide, please.
Okay, Tali.
Okay. The next question is there a plan to add a last updated date to support documentation to improve relevance and ensure information currency? So we do understand that there are a lot of pros to seeing the last updated date, but we feel that it's misleading at times because the last updated date can include very small changes, right? So if someone just changes a punctuation, because at the moment when you edit a page, that date would be updated automatically when there's no actual change to content on the page, while the older legacy content or non-legacy content would be up to date, even though it was written some time ago, and that could be misleading too if you see content from a few years ago. So at this time, there is no plan to add the last update updated on the pages.
Okay. Thank you, Tali. That concludes our question session. And yeah, I think we finished a bit earlier than we expected. Yeah, do you want to open it for a bit of questions, maybe? Is that a possibility? Caroline?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna summon,
Yeah.
summon. Yeah, I'm just gonna reach out because we do have a few questions on chat, and thanks Allison for kindly
Yes.
reading through the questions posted
Yes.
on chat.
No worries. Yeah, we've had a few questions posted in the chat during your presentation. So there was a question around what you said about the implementation of AI features. So are you also hearing from institutions that don't want to have any AI integration? So will there be any opt-out ability for those features that you're introducing?
Well, currently the AI you're talking about the externalized ones? Because right now we're using an internal tool. This is an internal tool for support to provide more information and better information. The externalized tools are not really, it's not something I can right now answer. So I'm not sure about the question itself.
So there was just further clarification posted. It was any AI features in the future that will integrate with our Ex Libris systems. So whether or not there will be any opt-out ability for any of those kind of integrations.
Zvi, maybe I can fill in. So as Yariv mentioned, any utilization of AI tools as part of our platform are carefully considering any security, privacy, and any other concerns and cleared out for usage. As to the actual utilization of those tools as part of different products, I don't think we're in position to respond to those now. This might be raised with relevant product groups while relevant. Currently, we are in process of kind of introducing those as part of the platform, as Yariv mentioned. The tool that Zvi mentioned is our internal AI assistant tool, which plan to allow our support analysts to get better and timely responses to you. We didn't introduce currently any AI technology as part of the external service. As we develop and AI tools develop and becoming more robust, we'll certainly be looking into this direction as an attempt to improve services. But this is not something that will be, that's something that we will be looking at in the coming few months. And again, once we will be looking into this direction, we'll certainly share our plans with support advisory group and work closely. Hope this answered the question.
Thank you. There was another question around the ability to search in the support portal through the open tickets and things that you showed an image of. So will known issues be returned in the search results when people are searching that portal?
Luda, yes, please.
We are currently at the definition stages and building the methodology and exploring the technology. So this is something that will be considered. but currently we cannot yet reply to this question.
Okay, thank you. The next question we had was around the time to close tickets that you posted the slide on. So the question was, do you think that 50 days per case is positive user experience? I think that was one of the statistics that you posted, 90% of cases close within 50 days.
Well, as I said, it's it's always better to be on a shorter end of it, but there's a lot of factors that need to be taken into account. There's a lot of back and forth in cases. Sometimes it includes a lot of examples. Many cases, even though they're actively being worked on, can take longer. So 50 days as an average is not perfect, but it's an improvement, and we're continuing to improve. We're always looking for ways to reduce it. And as I said, this is a major improvement over last year, and we're continuing to see that the numbers drop, and I hope you are all feeling it. I know that this is a Pareto effect where sometimes the 10% can the longer cases can feel like the majority of the cases, but we can see from our statistics that that they close faster. Obviously we would like them to close quicker than 50 days, and we're working also on that end. This is not something we're settling on. It was just something that I want to put a perspective on what we're seeing right now.
Okay, thank you. There were quite a few comments around documentation, the ability to find documentation, and the response to the question that was posed prior to the session around the last revised date. So something that's come out quite strongly, I think, is that the community in general don't necessarily want a last updated date in the way that it was kind of referenced in your response, but even some kind of indication of when the last major revision was made. So would there be any way that that could be something that be considered going forward, so that we would have an ability to judge when the last sort of major content update was made to a particular piece of documentation, as opposed to the last time the actual page itself was edited in some way?
It's something that I can check when we have a release update every quarter. So certainly that relevant documentation that pertains to those features is updated. We work on those specifically, but I can check on adding an indication, even if it's a release date or a year update or something to that kind. I can look at it. I can look into that. I also saw some comments about the documentation being correct or incorrect. So I do just want to say that our technical documentation is UI driven, right? So we provide context sensitive help, which means that it's based on the UI. So you can access it. That's what enables everyone to access it from within the product. And so that is a little different than writing how-to documentation or task-based documentation or workflow documentation, even though we have been adding how-tos, and we do try, when we document, we do try and document the content from a workflow perspective. But sometimes it's a little different, and that's why it feels that it's spread over many pages, just because those specific UI elements do have to be represented on the pages that are accessed from within the application. So, we try and access it from both directions, but I do understand that it's not an end-to-end workflow written in one specific location.
Thank you. There was one question. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll back through and find it. Are there any updates on how long cases will remain open once the status has been set to awaiting customer confirmation? I believe Ex Libris did seek feedback last year over the current 14-day period for when a case is closed. So as a region, I think it was requested that we have that extended, as lots of institutions actually closed down for a substantial period over the Christmas break. So is that still something that's being considered? Are there any updates on where that's up to?
I think Luda, this is something that you...
Yeah, so we connected again about this issue in Ilona when we met with support advisory group. We discussed extending the period of pending customer input to 4 weeks, even beyond 3 weeks that was referred to. and have it as a trial until Igloo, where it will be considered if we can bring it back to 3 weeks based on the best practices recommendations. So this is something that we currently took into Clarivate and waiting for review that we are not impacting the other groups that are utilizing the same platform. And once we got green light, this will be implemented. What I want to emphasize that we are talking about extending period of pending customer input, not awaiting customer confirmation for closure. And Zvi, correctly, if I'm wrong, the confirmation for closure was always 2 weeks, and it was not raised. It was not raised as part of this discussion. The discussion was around updating the period for pending customer input.
That's correct.
So keep me honest if I missed something in terms of the statuses.
No, that's exactly it.
Thank you. I think that might have been all the questions that we had in the chat, unless I've missed any, Carolyn?
No, I don't think I can see any left.
All right.
I
I'll
guess.
hand back over to you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess that concludes our session for today. Thank you, Zvi, Luda, and Tally.